Okay. So am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, so you're audible.
So this is not my
Yes,
scheduled
sir.
class actually. So I'll be taking today's class, and Anubhav sir will be taking my next Tuesday's class. So I'll not be there on Tuesday. That's why I'm taking this class. So whatever I have discussed in function of complex variable till last class, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll start the next topic. So just I'm sharing my screen. And so can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just I'm recapitulating whatever I have discussed so far in the last class. First, I have started with. So I'll request all of you to join in time. Vidhi, please join in time. It's 9:37. So if you don't join in time, then it will be problematic for me to discuss all these things in time.
Uh,
Okay.
Good morning, sir. So actually, there was a confusion whether the classes will be going on or not. That is why, actually, so
Classes will be.
the classes will be going on or not since there was no notification in the group.
Oh, so as per
That
the
is why I
routine, the
got
classes will be held actually. So that's why.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So first I have discussed. So actually, this is not my scheduled class. It might happen that you get notification from the respective teachers on the particular class, but I didn't provide any notification. So that's why you are not here. Okay.
Yes, actually, I got confused. Okay, sir. Excuse me
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So firstly, I have discussed. Actually, this is not my class. I have told initially that since next Tuesday I will not be available. That's why I'm taking this class. Okay, so far whatever I have discussed in function of complex variable, so I have discussed what is the set of complex numbers and why do we say that it is universal number system. After that I have discussed different algebraic properties of complex numbers. After that I have discussed how to represent a complex number in the form of polar coordinates. Then what is the modulus of a complex number, what is the argument of a complex number, and few properties. Then I have discussed some definitions like complex point set. I have given the examples. I have discussed the neighborhood of a point. Then I've discussed the limit points, and when do we say that a point corresponding to a particular set of complex numbers will be a limit point. Then I've given the example. Then I've discussed what is interior point, what is exterior point, and what is boundary point. And I've discussed open set and examples of open set, and then closed set and the examples of closed set, and then connected set, examples of connected set, and examples of disconnected set, and then domain. After that, I have discussed what is the applications of Euler's theorem. So, whenever we are trying to find out the root of a polynomial equation, it is not possible to find out all these roots in set of real numbers, but the root will exist in the set of complex numbers. So, how to find out all the roots of of a equation? We can actually deduce that from Euler's theorem. So, this is the application of Euler's theorem. So then today I'll start the function of complex variable, the main thing that we are going to study here. So far we have studied function of one real variable, function of two real variable. So here we will be studying the function of complex variable and its properties and calculus. So there are differential part and integral part whenever we discuss calculus of any sort of variable. So here also we will be discussing the differential calculus and integral calculus of function of complex variable. So before that, I have discussed up to this in the last class. I have taken two classes. So in those two classes, I have discussed up to this slide. So if you have any kind of doubts or queries regarding anything, then you can ask me. Do you have any doubts or queries till now? Whatever I have discussed.
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll be discussing the function of complex variable. So when do we define a function? What is the function apart from the function of real variable? Apart from the function of complex variable. So far we have studied the function of real variable. So in the case of function of real variable, we have studied function of one real variable, function of two real variable. So while we are defining a function, we are taking two sets. One set is called as a domain, and other set is called as the codomain. So the function actually assigns each and every value corresponding to all values of domain. That means we are taking a value of domain, and the function assigns some value from the codomain with respect to this domain. That means all the elements of the domain is defined by virtue of some elements, by virtue of some given things in codomain. So that means the function is actually an action that actually maps the elements, all the elements of domain with some elements of codomain. So it may assign all the values of domain to all the values of codomain, or it may assign all the values of domain to some part of the codomain. So that is called as the range. All of you are familiar with that. So while you have studied function of one real variable, you know that there is only one independent variable. Independent variable means the variable that we are picking from the domain, and the dependent variable means the corresponding value of that variable which we are assigning by virtue of that function in the codomain. So in the case of function of one real variable, there is only one independent variable, and corresponding to that independent variable, we are assigning only one dependent variable. So there are total two variables. So while we have discussed the function of two variables, there are two independent variables. That means we are picking a particular value from the domain which has two components. That means in the form of x comma y. That means there are two independent variables, and that is assigned to some particular value of the domain. That is only one dependent variable. So that is defined as z equals to fxy, the function of two variable. So in the case of complex number, so there are two sort of complex numbers. One is complex valued complex number, and another is real valued complex number. So real valued complex number I have not discussed here because real valued complex number is a subclass of complex valued complex number. So what do you mean by the real valued complex number or complex valued complex number? Say for example, we are defining a function where the domain is the set of complex numbers here, and the codomain is set of complex numbers. So domain is not the entire set of complex number, domain is some subset of set of complex numbers. So this is called as the complex domain D. So D is nothing but the subset of set of complex numbers. That means we have discussed the complex point set. Similarly here D is the complex point set. That means D is subset of the set of complex numbers. So complex valued complex number means we are taking the inputs as the complex numbers and we are getting the outputs as the complex number. That means fz equals to w. Fz equals to w means both z and w are complex numbers. Okay. So z we are picking from the domain D, and corresponding to the values of z we are assigning the value w, that is nothing but a complex number in the codomain, and that is defined by virtue of that function. So this is defined as fz equals to w. So here z and w being two complex numbers, so it must have two components. So z have two components, x and y. Real part is x, imaginary part is y. And here also in the codomain, the functional value, that means the value which is assigned corresponding to that independent variable z, w, being a complex number, should have two variables, that is u is the real part and v is the imaginary part. So fz equals to w means z is x plus iy and w is u plus iv. So instead of writing down that, you know that we can write down a complex number in the form of order pair of elements that can be represented in eigenplane. So instead of writing down z as x plus iy, we can write down in the form of order pair x comma y, and output is w. So w being a complex number, it has two parts, so we can write down as the variable u comma v. So in that way we can define a complex valued complex function. And what is real valued complex function? Real valued complex function means the independent variable we are considering as the complex numbers. That means the independent variable, that means the value that we are picking from the domain is the complex number, but the output corresponding to that independent variable we are getting or we are obtaining in the domain, that is nothing but a real number. So I will give some examples of real valued complex number. But what is the example of complex valued complex number? Say for example, w equals to fz is z to the power 4. That means z is mapped to z to the power 4. So what will be u and v? That means what will be the real part of the functional value and imaginary part of functional value? For that we need to substitute z dash x plus iy. So if I write down x plus iy whole to the power 4, you know we can actually simplify that by virtue of the binomial expansion. You know all the binomial expansion, that is x plus y whole to the power n is x to the power n plus nc1 x to the power n minus y plus nc2 x to the power n minus 2 y square, and so on. So here also the n is 4. So that will be x to the power 4 first, then x cube into 4c1 into iy, then 4c2 into x square into iy square. In that way there will be total If I break if I break this, how many terms will be there? The total will be, there will be 5 terms. So here total there will be 5 terms actually. You know, if I break x plus y whole to the power n, there will be total n plus 1 term. So here there will be 5 terms. So if you separate the real and imaginary part, you will be getting real part as this, imaginary part as this. So independent variable is here z, that is x plus iy, or x comma y, and the dependent variable is here u comma v, that means u plus iv. So what is u? U is this real part of the functional value, and v is the imaginary part of functional value. Is that clear up to this or not? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, then I am giving the example of real valued complex number. Here I have not written this. Can you see the blank screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so real valued complex numbers. Okay, real valued, here we have discussed the complex valued complex number. Complex valued complex number. That is fz equals to w. That means here we are defining the function f from d to the set of complex numbers, where d is a subset of set of complex numbers. So here both the domain and codomain are complex numbers. And what is real valued complex number? Real valued not number, real valued complex function. That means here we are defining a function from a set of complex numbers, that d is a subset of set of complex numbers. It is a subset to the set of real number. So here domain is set of complex number and codomain is set of real numbers. So that is called as a real valued complex function. That means complex functions, because inputs we are taking as the complex numbers, but output that we are obtaining which are real numbers. So can you give an example of such function? Anyone? That means domain will be set of complex numbers, but codomain will be set of real numbers, or output will be real numbers. Any function, lots of functions are there. Have you understood what do you mean by the real valued complex function? Is that clear definition?
Yes, sir.
So can you give any example? That means inputs we are taking complex number, but output we are getting as real numbers.
Sir, if z equals to z square, where z equals to I.
Yeah, z square, z equals to I. Yeah, that can be there. That means, but function means not a particular value, it will be in general value. So I can define fz equals to mod z whole square. That means mod z means modulus of z. So here z means key x plus iy, so that is a complex number. But you know that mod z whole square, that means mod of x plus iy whole square. Mod of x plus iy means, mod of x plus iy, you know, that is square root of x square plus y square. So that whole square, so that will be x square plus y square. So here
Hello, sir.
this is x plus iy. So here
Hello.
this is f x comma y, but here output is only u, because u plus I into 0, v is here 0, and u is this is your u, only real part is present, but imaginary part of the functional value is missing here, absent here. So that is a real valued complex number. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir. Z into Z bar.
Yeah, if you take z into z bar, is actually nothing but mod z whole square. If you write down here instead of z square, z into z bar, I have discussed na, z into z bar is mod z whole square,
Is
this property. Z into z bar equals to mod z whole square. Is that clear?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now is it clear what is real valued complex function and complex valued complex function? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now my
Yes.
question is, so while we are discussing the function of one real variable, so y equals to fx. So what is the independent variable here? Here one independent variable and the dependent variable is 1. So total there are two variables, that is x and y. There are total two variables, one independent and one dependent. So since there are two variables, so we can represent their connection as a point in two-dimensional real plane. This is x axis, this is the y axis. So This is the independent variable. Corresponding to that independent variable, I am getting this as y. Corresponding to that independent variable, I am getting the value of y as this. Corresponding to that independent variable, I am getting the value of y as this. So by joining them, I can get the equation of a car. So in general, that represents a car. Since there is one independent variable and one dependent variable, so geometrically this represents the equation of a car. The locus represents the equation of a car. Since there is only one independent and one dependent variable, so total two variables are there. So we can represent two variables in the form of a two-dimensional real plane. Is that clear? All of you are familiar with that? Okay. Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Now while we are taking the function of two variables, so z equals to fxy. So here independent variables are 2. So number of independent variables are 2, they are x and y. And number of dependent variable is 1, so that is z. So how many total variables are there? Total there are 3 variables. So x, y and z. So how we can establish their relationship? So since there are total 3 variables, so we can represent their relationship by virtue of a point or 3-dimensional point. So since there are total 3 variables x, y and z, so we can draw a 3-dimensional real plane and say this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and let's say this is z-axis. So if I take a point, so I am taking a point corresponding to xy plane. So corresponding to this point in the xy plane, this is a 2-dimensional point because I am taking this point in the xy plane. So I am drawing the perpendicular direction towards z direction. I am getting this point. So this is the functional value corresponding to that point. So I am taking this as the x comma y. So this is x1 comma y1. This is our z1. Let's say this is x1, x2 comma y2. Corresponding to that functional value is this cell, that is z2. So in that way, I can take different points from xy plane. Corresponding to that, I will be getting different points in xyz 3-dimensional plane by drawing the perpendicular towards the z direction. Then if I join them, I will get the equation of surface. In general, this represents a surface. So since there are total 2 independent variable and 1 dependent variable, so together we can represent them in the form of a point in 3-dimensional real plane. Now my question is, so while we are considering the complex valued complex function, how many total variables are there? Because while we are discussing the function of complex variable, complex valued complex function, fz equals to w. So here z is x plus iy and w is u plus ib. So how many total variables are there? How many total variables are there?
3 each.
4 variables.
Sorry?
4 variables.
Yeah, so total there are 4 variables because in the previous 2 cases, whenever I have discussed function of 1 real variable, function of 2 real variables, so in all these cases, the number of dependent variable is 1. Number of independent variable is getting changed from 1 to 2. But here, number of independent variable is also 2, that is x, y, and number of dependent variable is also 2, u and v. So total there are 4 variables, 2 independent variables and 2 dependent variables. So now my question is, so how we can represent those 4 variables? Because so far we know that we can draw a geometrical figure up to 3 dimensions. So that's why we can represent the function of 2 variables in the form of a 3-dimensional, in the form of a surface in 3-dimensional real plane. And function of 1 variable can be represented as a curve in the 2-dimensional real plane. But how to represent these 4 variables geometrically in order to represent the function of complex valued function geometrically? Have you got my question? Is that clear? The question is clear or not?
Yes, sir. We need an extra plane.
How we can draw this? Because we can draw up to 3 dimensions. So we can add 4-dimensional plane, 5-dimensional plane, but in reality this is not possible. We can draw up to 3 dimensions. So we can draw up to 3 dimensions. So how we can introduce all those 4 variables to draw a geometrical figure? Because if I add a plane, virtually I can do so, but in the real case I can't draw a 4-dimensional geometrical object or geometrical figure. Can anyone tell me? Anyone? Whatever be the idea, you can share with me. This can be right or wrong, because I am not expecting that you will be giving the answer rightly, because you don't know. So roughly, whatever is coming to your mind, you can share. Anyone? Anyone? Because I can't. Someone has given the answer. We can add extra plane, but this is not possible really. In reality, this is not possible. So how we can do so? Can anyone tell me? Any idea? Anything? Whatever is coming to your mind. Yes, sir.
So that imaginary plane we need.
Imaginary plane is that imaginary plane, but how we can draw? Because whenever we are representing some complex numbers in argon plane, so we are using imaginary axis. But if I use imaginary plane, then virtually we can think about some geometrical figure. But really we can draw up to 3 dimensions. So we can't draw this. Okay, so just I'm sharing. So in two ways we can do so. So one is, you know that while we are taking projection, we reduce the number of variables. Because say for example, this is 3-dimensional geometrical figure. So this is a football or surface, the sphere. So while we take the projection of the sphere, let's say this is a 3-dimensional object, so we are taking the projection in xy plane. So xy plane means, so this is a 3-dimensional figure, that means this geometrical figure exists in 3-dimensional plane. If we take the projection, that means I need to draw this sort of thing, then only this circular orbit will be getting. So thus we can reduce the number of variables. Is that clear? Have you got it or not? Say for example,
Yes.
I am taking a 2-dimensional point. Say for example, a point is there in xy plane, let's say x comma y. So if I take the projection, then only I will be getting this length. So the coordinate of this is x0. So actually from a 2-dimensional point, I am converting this to a 1-dimensional point. So by taking the projection, we can reduce the number of variables. So here also I can do so. So there are total 2 independent variables and 2 dependent variables. So total there are 4 variables. So by taking the projection, we can reduce the number of variables and we can convert this in 3 variables. Then easily we can draw a 3-dimensional geometrical figure to represent the relationship. Is that clear? That is one way. Is that clear or not? Is it clear?
So for taking the projections, even we need to draw it at first.
Yeah, that means if I take the projection, so one dimension will be 0. That means either y will be 0. If I take the projection in that axis, the x will be 0. So we will not draw 4-dimensional figure, but we will just consider what sort of projection we will be taking. Say if I take the projection with respect to u axis, then u will be 0. If I want to take the projection with respect to v axis, because I can't convert xy as 0, because they are independent variables, they should be there always. So I can convert either u as 0 or v as 0 by taking the projection with respect to u axis or v axis. So if I take the projection with respect to u axis, then v will be missing. So x, y, u 3 variables will be there. And if I take the projection with respect to v axis, then u will be missing. There will be 3 variables, that is x, y and u. I'll show that. We can, by MATLAB we can do so. So whenever you will be studying your own subject or second year, third year, I think you will be able to know how to draw a geometrical figure by MATLAB or mathematical or some software are there. So by virtue of that software, you can actually draw this kind of figures. So I'll discuss that. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And another way is that, say there are total 4 variables. So one is z, another is w. So total there are 4 variables. So in the first class I have told that if I consider a complex number, I can represent that complex number as a two-dimensional point in the Argand plane. So let's say we are taking one Argand plane, which independent variable is x, independent variable is y, so that is the imaginary axis, that is the real axis, and I am considering this as a z plane. So here I am taking the inputs at say z1, z2, so let's say this is z1, this is z2, this is z3, this is z4. So like that I am taking different inputs, because while we are defining a function fz equals to w, so I need to take different inputs at z, then corresponding to that z, by applying the function I will be getting the value of w. And another imaginary plane I am considering, that is the w plane, that is also a two-dimensional Argand plane. So here the real axis will be u and imaginary axis will be v. So that is the u and v. Is that clear? So while we are applying the function f, right? So while we are applying the function, so we know that corresponding to each and every value of z, I will be getting some value of w. Say for example, corresponding to z1, I will be getting w1. Corresponding to z2, I will be getting w2. Corresponding to z3, I will be getting w3. So corresponding to z1, let's say I am getting this point, that is say w1. Corresponding to z2, I am getting w2. Corresponding to z3, I am getting w3. So the coordinate of w1 is u1, v1. Coordinate of w2 is u2, v2, and so on. And coordinate of z1 is x1, y1. Coordinate of z2 is x2, y2. So by joining them, I will be getting a two-dimensional object in xy plane. And by joining their corresponding images, I will be getting a two-dimensional object in uv plane. So here I could imagine that the function is actually mapping a two-dimensional geometrical object from z plane to w plane. So how we are showing? Just I am giving one example. Let's say I am considering a function fz equals to z square. So here z is x plus iy. So what will be uv? So that will be x plus iy whole square. So if you segregate the real and imaginary part, this will be x square minus y square plus I into 2xy. So that is our u, that is our v. Okay. So what we are doing, we are taking a xy plane. We are taking a uv plane. Now inputs we can take arbitrarily. So I am taking say input say 1 1. This is the point 1 1 say. Then I am taking the inputs at say 2 0. I am taking the inputs as say 0 4. So in that way I can take different inputs. So that is our x, that is our y. Okay. So since I have defined the function fz as this, so if x has 1, y has 0, so what will be u? If x1, u will be x1, y1. So u will be 0 and v will be 2. So this will be mapped to 0 2. Okay. Now while we are taking 2 0, x2, y0. So x2 means this will be 4, this will be 0, and that will be 4, and this will be 0. So that will be 0. So it will map to 4 0. Now while we are taking 0 4, so that will be 0 minus 16. This will be minus 16. So minus 16 means u will be in a negative direction, minus 16 minus u axis, and v will be 0. So minus 16 0, like that, minus 16 0. So in that way, if I take these three inputs, I can join them, and this will be a two-dimensional curve, and the outputs are there, this kind of outputs. So this will be a two-dimensional curve. So here I could imagine that this function fz equals to z square is mapping these points from z plane to these points of w plane. Is that clear? Have you got it or not? If you have any kind of queries or doubts, you could ask me. Don't hesitate to ask me if you have any doubts. I could repeat this again. I don't have a problem. Have you got it or not? Sorry?
So one thing I am a bit
Sorry,
confused with.
please say louder. I can't hear.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
So when you started with this,
Hmm.
there was z equals to x plus iy and uh,
The
w u,
W
w
equals to Z
equals
square.
w equals to u plus iv. The very first time when you introduce these two equations.
Yeah.
So in the first we saw with one dependent and one independent, then we saw with one dependent and two independent.
Yeah.
Now when we come to this case, there are two dependent and two independent,
Yes.
but there should be like two dependent and four independent, right?
Why 4 independent? We are defining the function key in the form of fz equals to w. So fz equals to w means we are taking z as the input and w is the output. Output is the
Yes,
dependent variable though.
yes,
So input is z and output is w. So both are complex numbers. So since input is a complex number, so inputs must have two parts, x and y, real and imaginary part. So z being
yes,
the independent variable, and since z has two parts, so there will be two independent variables.
yes,
And since w is the dependent variable and w being a complex number has two parts, so it will also have two dependent variables. Since the w is dependent variables and w has two parts, so u and v will also be two independent variable dependent variables.
so here we are not considering z and w.
No, because z and w initially are the independent variables, but since z is a
Yes,
complex numbers, so initially since z is dependent on again another two variables, so ultimately we can consider z, or if I want to segregate z in two real parts, then there are two variables, because z being a complex number has two parts though.
yes.
So since we are representing, either we can represent this by z or we can represent this by x comma y, I have told no. So we can represent this in the form of if z equals to w, then z and w are two independent variables, z independent, w dependent, or we can represent z in the form of x comma y. So now z doesn't exist because either z or the real and imaginary part of z. We can't
Okay,
represent
so
three
I got
together because z and x comma y both are same, because x comma y represents z in argand plane.
it, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other doubts?
No.
So anyone, have you got it? Now since there are four variables, so two variables we are considering in the z plane and we are joining them, then we will be getting a two-dimensional curve. Then each and every point will be mapped to some points in the UV plane. By joining them, we will be getting another curve in W plane. So here I could consider that function of complex variable is transforming a two-dimensional geometrical figure from one plane to another plane, one argand plane to another argand plane. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it clear to all? Is that clear to all or not? Everyone, have you understood? And if you have any problem, you could ask me. Please respond, then I'll continue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Then there is single valued complex function and multi-valued complex function. What do you mean by the single valued complex function? Single valued complex function means corresponding to each value of z, I am getting one value of w. That is called as a single valued complex function. That means we are taking input as one complex numbers, we are getting the output as only one complex number. So that is a single valued complex function. Let's say fz equals to z square. So fz equals to z square means z has 1, z square will be 1, z has minus 1, z square will be 1, z has I, so z square will be I square, that is minus 1. So in that way, for one independent variable, I will be obtaining one dependent variable. Now multi-valued complex function means, so for each value of z, w can have more than one value. That is called as the multi-valued complex function. So how we are getting? Say z to the power half. Okay. So z to the power half. Then why it is a multi-valued complex function? Fz equals to z to the power half. Just I am discussing it here. If it is a real valued function, then this is a single valued function. So in the case of real valued function, for one value of x, we will be getting only one value of y. But for the complex numbers, for one value of z, I can get multi-valued of more than one value of w. So here w equals to z to the power half. So let's say z equals to I. So this will be I to the power half. So since this is I to the power half, so I could represent this as I to the power half. So I means, we can write down this as is it okay? I can write this in that way because sin pi by 2 is 1. So this will be I and this will be 0. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you know that any odd multiple of pi by 2 will also satisfy this. So that will be cos 2k plus 1 pi by 2 plus I sin 2k plus 1 to the power half. So this can be written in the form of e to the power I into 2k plus 1 pi by 2 to the power half. To the power half means 2 will be coming here. So this will be 1 by 4. Again we can write this as cos 2k plus 1 pi by 4 plus I sin 2k plus 1 pi by 4. So corresponding to different values of k being an integer, k can take any value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So corresponding to any value of k, I will be getting a value of this. So that means I is mapped here. Input I am taking z as I. So corresponding to one value of I, the functional value being I to the power half can be anything. So more than one. So this is a multi-valued function. Z to the power half sort of type. This is a multi-valued function. Is that clear? Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then I'm written a MATLAB code. So while we'll be studying MATLAB in your stream, I think for different sort of what can I say, stimulus, you need to use the MATLAB. So this is a MATLAB code. So if you draw this, so I have taken this. That means mod of x plus iy whole square. So mod of x plus iy whole square means abs means this is sort of modulus. So mod of this whole square means actually I am reducing the number of variable by taking mod, because if I take mod, so for minus x and x, if I take mod, both will give the same value, you know, negative, positive, all are converted to positive if I take mod value. So here by taking the mod, we are reducing the number of variables. Okay. So if you draw this graph, you will be getting this sort of graph. That means this is three-dimensional plane, x plane, y plane, z plane. So I have taken here two functions. One is z square and another is z to the power half. The graph of z to the power half is this, graph of z square is this. So if you take graph of mod z whole z square, you will be getting that this is xy plane and this is z plane. So corresponding to any value of xy, you will be getting only one point. That means if you take any point in this xy plane and draw a perpendicular line, so it will intersect only at one point in that surface. Okay. And here for this part, if you take any point of xy, it will intersect more than one because there is a slit. So since the double slits are there, in that case of double slits are there, say for example I am taking this point, so it will cut here as well as it will cut here. So if you take any point here, that is z equals to 0, so it will cut at more than two parts. Okay. So that's why here for one value of xy, you will be getting more than one value of z. So that is example of multi-valued function. That is example of single valued function. So by drawing this graph, we can visualize that. Okay. Have you got it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think after this I have discussed in today's class. So just I'll try to share this class note by today, or I'll be sharing the next class, because other things are there also I couldn't discuss today. So if you have any kind of doubts in understanding anything before the start of the next class, you can ask. Okay, so before sharing the IMCRP code, I'm taking your exam and attendance manually. Then I'll be sharing the IMCRP. Oh, so for electrical, the manual attendance is not here. Okay, so I'm sharing the IMCRP code. Just wait. This is the exam code and this is the link. So just click the link and give the exam code and your enrollment ID. So you need to provide your enrollment number in full. Okay, so don't write down the last 4 digits or so on. This kind of thing. So give your enrollment number, full enrollment number, and click the link and give the exam code and give that exam in IMCRP. So based on the exam, your attendance will be tracked. So give it access. And someone just check and let me know whether you can access it right now or not. Is it accessible? Then someone check and let me know.
Yes, sir, it's accessible.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you all for attending today's class.